Okay, guys, so what we have now is the checklist of ads I think you should start with. Can you start with other ads? Sure. If you know enough about YouTube ads to go in other places, sure, do it. I also want to stress that if you want to get creative with this and you don't mind losing some money right now, sure, do it. If you do mind losing some money right now, don't do that. If you want to go out there and expand on this, if you want to go make way more audiences based around the general concept that I'm using with these targetings, by all means, go do it. There's nothing stopping you from going to $500 a day instantly. But I want to stress that the goal with our initial ads, at least when we're starting off, these first few days, is to go and make sure that nothing's broken. Okay, we want to go and spend maybe $50, $100 a day for at least a day or two to make sure that we're getting good opt-in rates, that people are attending our webinar, just the basic things. And so I really suggest before you do anything else, you listen to this video and follow step by step all the initial ad settings that I walk you through at the beginning. Okay, and then we'll go over what to do next when we get the initial readings. Because what we're trying to do here again is get the initial readings from these ads. Okay, guys, so we're going to get into the first type of ad targeting. Now, I want to back up. So I'm going to be showing you and walking you through this checklist right here. I really suggest you follow the checklist to a T when we're starting off. I'm not saying don't run with this afterwards. I'm not saying go create your own ideas. I'm not saying go experiment, by all means. But you need to understand what your first goal when we create ads is to get our first positives. We want to look for a good cost per opt-in, a good cost per lead, a good cost per sale. Okay, if we have a lower ticket item. If we're doing webinars, if we're doing SC funnels, if we're doing all that jazz, we want to 100% be looking for that good CPL. Okay, and so if we go and spend $50 in a day and we get one opt-in, something's incredibly broken. And so that's what we're trying to detect when we're kicking off. We're trying to get the first basic signs of life. So here's what we're going to walk through, and the checklist is also going to be below every single ad video, so you have it just an abundance of the checklist. Let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start with 2 placements. The reason why we're going to start with placements is because placements can be a gigantic win or they can be a huge waste of time. So we're going to create 2 placements with $10 a day on each of them, and we just want to see if the placements will start off well, and if we'll get a good CPL with these placements. If we can do that, then we can scale the placements. And placements you can scale the way to $200, $500 a day. It's not too hard to do that if they start up. Depends on your niche. So we're going to go over to your campaign manager inside of your AdWords account. So what we're going to do is we're going to go and set up a new campaign. We're going again, I know we created our initial ad, but let's just start from absolute scratch. We're going to set it to leads and we're going to set it to video. We're going to name the campaign name. I'm going to name this, I usually like to name it my business and then what the campaign is targeting. So it would be like iron, Facebook, ads, keywords. But in this example right here, we're going to name this, we're going to name the business dog. That's just going to be what we're be doing this for. Or let's back up in this dog business. However, for this example, let's imagine I made a new company where I sell SMMA. I show people how to start an agency and get clients. Okay, that's going to be my new business. That's what we're going to be building this one from scratch and doing all the keywords with. So SMMA, and I'm going to do SMMA placements. All right, so we're going to go place ads on every video that's talking about social media marketing. That's what this means. Okay. So again, I want to state the business I'm starting right here. This is not a real business. Is a business teaching people how to build their own SMA company, very similar to Tai Lopez's SMMA. So this is what I would do. So I'm going to go bidding strategy, maximize conversions daily. I'm going to set it to $10. We can up it later on. That's fine. Okay. And what I'm going to actually suggest right now, this is going to be explained here in a moment, is set it to $1 right now. We'll talk about upping the budget here in a moment. We're going to set it to actually run tomorrow morning and up to $10. We don't want to launch ads in the middle of the day because the ad spend will just get ripped apart and we won't get accurate data. We want to start the ads first thing in the morning. Okay, and you can go out there and set like a scheduling date and everything like that. I like the method I'm going to show you. It makes it just a lot easier. Networks, only YouTube videos. Languages, you can use all languages, but I'm going to give you the best practices here. I don't do all these best practices, but I'm going to give you the best practices. Set it to English. Countries, just do the United States and Canada, unless you're doing somewhere else in particular. Then do that place in particular. Inventory type, expanded inventory. Excluded, none, unless you don't want to be on these. Like sexually suggestive videos. There's going to be videos where there's some guy or gal talking about all sorts of sexual acts. If you have a business where you don't want to be on videos talking about sexual acts, don't do it. Same thing with all these ones. Pretty clear. Now, excluded content. Get rid of embedded videos and live streaming videos. Content not yet labeled falls into this category. You're going to be on stuff that might not be where you want to be at. So that's up to you. Name the ad group, whatever you want. I'm going to name this SMMA ads. Now, this is going to be spotty. If you're doing an SC funnel and you're doing business to business, you can go and set the household income to not target the lower 50% of people. I don't usually do this. I don't trust Google's stats at all. I don't trust their stats at all. Okay? So best practices, I'm going to tell you to turn it off. At least if you're starting an SC funnel. If you're targeting just mass market general people, I would leave this in. So those are the best practices I would suggest. Okay, if you're doing an SC funnel, don't target the lower 50%. If you're doing a 2K funnel, leave it on. If you're feeling lucky, leave it on regardless. Okay, I don't do that. But best practices, you should turn that off. Usually from what I've seen with people's SC funnels, they get better results turning off the lower 50%. Now, let's back up for a second. What we just did here is going to be universally put on every single ad campaign we make, because we're just going to be copying this base template right here. That's what we've just created. Now, the parts that's going to be unique is going to be the targeting. So, what we're going to do this right now is we're going to go and collect our first placement. So let's go back to our list of keywords. Now, let me go and make my list of SMMA keywords. So SMMA, what would my keywords be? SMMA, social, media, marketing, maybe some competitor keywords would be like Tai Lopez, SMMA. Maybe my keyword right here would be consulting. Okay, so these would be kind of my core keywords on here. I got some competitor keywords, how to get clients. These are kind of my core keywords. Marketing agency. General keywords right here. Okay, so what I'm going to do right here is I'm going to go and I'm going to start looking for videos I can place my ads on. So the best way to actually do this is going to be one of two ways. So if you want to not buy software, I'm going to go to YouTube videos. And what I'm going to do is actually this. So I'm going to go and put in SMMA up here and see what pops up. Okay, the problem with this is not all of these can be monetized. I don't think. Now, we can add these videos in just like this, or we can go up here and type in SMMA into this tool called TubeSift. Okay, I've already talked about this before. TubeSift will allow us to go and find monetizable videos. But I'm looking at this right here, and it looks almost like we're getting almost the same videos back. Almost exactly the same videos back that we're seeing over here, with a few exceptions. Okay, so you can see we didn't get this video back over here. So, either or that you want to do. I would get about 20 to 50. Next, you should have already created your first ad. I've already talked about ad creation, so I'm going to skip ad creation. This is going to be our first audience we're going to start with. You see how I just used our most basic of basic keywords? We're going to create that campaign. Now let's go look at my next keyword. All right, let's just do something like how to get clients. Okay, so this is my first campaign right here. And I'm gonna limit my search right here to only my. Okay, so I have it set to $1 right here very intentionally. We'll set these all to run at the end of this series. So what I'm going to do right here is I'm going to go and copy this. Let's make another placement set. Okay, I'm going to type in something like maybe like how to get clients. Okay, so check this out. So this might be where some people looking to start an SMMA or want SMMA help or something like that want to go. Now, this could be actually hyper-specific. We can get down to even more base needs with this, and that's what I want to talk about here in a second. So maybe I don't really like this right here. The first keywords I just used, SMMA, were really targeted, but if I only want to do 2 placements, by the way, you can do 3 or 4, right? If they're $10 each. Maybe I want to do something like, you know, how to make money. Okay, because the goal of SMMA, if I was making an SMA course, would be how to make money. So if I was doing more of an SC funnel targeting B2B, I might want to use that SMMA, those keywords, or how to get more clients. If I'm doing B2C, which is customers, I definitely want to use these make money online videos. So let's just do this one right here. Select an ad group, and I'm going to go select YouTube videos, enter multiple placements, put these in there, and now I have 2 audiences. So again, we want to base this around what our customers are looking for. I use 2 examples right here. I used an SMMA if I was doing B2B, or if I was doing B2C, which is more the make money online niche. Okay, so those are the type of keyword targetings that we'd want to use different. You can see that would be the B2B would be more for the SC funnels. The B2C would be more for our 2K funnels. So this is where we'd want to start off with first. We have 2 really clean placement audiences. And again, what I suggest doing is set them to $1 a day for right now. And again, we want to use about 50 placements. I used about 10 placements in this example video. One other thing I want to talk about on the placements is when you're running about the placements, if I go and type in make money, what's going to happen if I set this to about 50, I'm going to find a bunch of irrelevant keywords. So it's very, very, very important that we go and get rid of videos that might not be relevant. So if I go in here and type in Facebook ads, I did this search earlier today, so I know there's going to be crap in here. You're going to see that I'm going to run into a few videos that are not in English. So when I go and get my list and generate my list when I'm doing this, I'm gonna need to go through here, okay, and look at the videos that pop up. Let's say I put in these placements right here. Okay, I'm gonna need to go through these, skim through. All right, this one is not in the language. I want my ads in this video. Get rid of that. For example, if you type in something like make money, you're going to see like how to make money in Grand Theft Auto. That's going to dominate your views. All right, you'll get so much traffic on that ad, but it has nothing to do with what you're doing right here. So this is how we want to go and set up our first placements. This is what we want to do. Okay. Again, if you're feeling a little bit ballsy and you're like, man, I want to go do 50 placements right there. No, stop it. Cut it out. Our goal right now is just to make sure that we can get some basic first readings. This is where we're going to start off first. The next section, we're going to be moved to affinity layered keywords. Okay? That's what we're going to do next.